Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for being on with me today. My name is Megan Goff. If you do not know me, I know I invited other people's teams to this call as well because I thought, well, the more the merrier, right? If we can all work together and collaborate, we lift the boat. We lift all the boats, right? Okay, so I'm going to just kick off with prayer, and then we're going to get started. Lord, I just do want to thank you for this day. I just pray that you would cover this time that we have to work. I pray you bless this next hour that we have. I pray that you would just give us wisdom as we move forward in our businesses. I pray you help us just to have the wisdom to move forward, however that looks for each one of us. I know a lot of us are in different spaces in our businesses. I also want to pray for a blessing over each person and family represented on the call and those that listen. I also want to just pray that you would give us the words to say to people, that you'd help us to move forward with a heart of love and service. I also pray that you would just magnify the hours in our day. I know a lot of us have a lot of things on our plates. Plexus is not the only thing that we do, so I just pray you give us favor there. Also pray that you bless the work of our hands specifically, and that you would bless our time together today. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so we are going to do a couple of things. Before I do that, I'm going to give you guys a couple scripture verses because the kids and I have been actually memorizing the book of James, or I should say James chapter 1. And there is a scripture in there in verse 5. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, to let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it should be given him, but to not ask wavering, but to ask in faith. And so I just want to remind everybody, as we're doing this IPA stuff, as we're working our businesses, to not be afraid to ask God for specifically for wisdom, and he will give it, right? But it says to ask in faith and not to be wavering. So I just want to put that out there as like kind of an overarching theme. And also I was thinking about Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6, that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll direct your paths. And then I prayed Psalm 90, verses 16 and 17, kind of a paraphrase when I prayed just a minute ago. But those are some verses to write down, maybe write them on a note card, or I don't know how, or listen to them on Audible, however you enjoy listening, or getting the word kind of front and center, because I do, all the things that we're learning about with mindset and about the impact of words, God's word is applicable, powerful, and relevant even today, and it will guard our heart and mind, and we're learning, a lot of you are in Emily Gibson's coaching or have been privy to some of her training about the CTF-AR model, which is basically an earthly, worldly system to take our thoughts captive, which is imperative. And there's so many light bulbs that have gone off for me in helping myself identify limiting beliefs and thoughts that I've been thinking, and also to kind of understand the maybe like the result lines. Sometimes people on my team or other people that I'm coaching, they're not getting the results they want, or maybe their points aren't moving forward or whatever, but honestly, it's a result of the thoughts we're thinking. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic for another day. But I had a couple questions for you guys. Number one question is, do you feel organized in your business? If you're on here or on Facebook Live, you can pop it in the chat. I guess you can set right yes or no, or kind of, if you want. Do you feel organized in your business? I think the cool thing is that Emily says this a lot, we are the problem, but we are also the solution. And I know my mom and dad used to always talk about, when I was growing up, like, be a solution finder, like figure out a way around the problem. And I think it kind of goes along with that whole, we're not victims, we're overcomers. We're going to find a solution and a way around this. So number one thing I would say, if you are feeling unorganized in your business, that's going to be a key part of moving forward to whatever rank or goal or point goal that you have set, or number of people that you want to help. You got to get organized, even just a little tiny bit, right? So that you don't feel squirrel brained. And honestly, all it takes, it doesn't take a big, huge system or some sort of magical, fancy magic markers or anything. Just get a piece of paper. Okay, so if you have not gotten a piece of paper from your office or whatever, go grab a couple white sheets of paper, because you'll be using that to take notes and also for the work that we're going to do today. So thank you guys for chiming in. It's always more fun when There's some people commenting. So yes, some people are saying kind of, absolutely not. No, 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 no. I am when I stick to it, but I don't always follow the system. For the most part, yes. Not in 3 weeks. Summer is kicking me in the booty. Not really, a little organized, I suppose, but seems a little haphazard. Okay, so every one of you is going to have a different way of organizing yourself, okay? Life doesn't have to be perfect. Side note, it's never going to be perfect, right? In order for us to move forward in our businesses, it doesn't have to be. But my encouragement is to be organized enough for you not to feel like discombobulated in your business, because as we are learning, our thoughts affect our feelings, which then create our actions and then drive our results. And so if you're feeling that way in your business, it just takes a hot minute to get a little bit organized on a sheet of paper. So okay, this goes along with this. This is your homework if you haven't done it. Who listened to Christina Williams' day 1 of Tips from the Top on June 1st? Yes, there's yeses coming in. Hooray, A+ students, good job. Okay, part 2 of this question is, who printed out her ideal week sheets? If you printed them out, type printed or hold them up so we can see them. Okay, a couple of you, yay. Okay, good job, A+ again. So if you're feeling unorganized in your business, please go print out those sheets and do them, okay? There's a lot of different systems you could use. I've created a planner. If any of you want one, we're getting ready to do another printing of it, but like it's a all-in-one, not like one place for all of my brain. And if you guys need it, fabulous. If not, go print out Christina's sheets, okay? Simple, simple, simple. Plan it out, okay? So your homework is to print those out and use them, okay? Because you'll be able to track your progress and you will just feel more organized. And when you're feeling organized, maybe not perfectly, even imperfectly, you're going to move forward faster, okay? All right. The next thing that I want to just breeze past really quickly, I was on a call, a focus group call, and one of the girls mentioned this idea, I formed it into a question. Are we addicted to a state of urgency and chaos? As Americans, I feel like that's just the MO, right? That's how we become successful. Urgency and chaos. I think for most of us, we would say probably yes. If you're in the same, well, maybe not even in the same life season as me, raising kids, I'm a homeschool mom, you know, our life is very people-y. I'm from a big family, so we're just coming off a weekend with a lot of people, a lot of things, okay? But what I want to encourage you with is to take a few minutes to slow down and think your thoughts and reflect, okay? And I'm actually, those of you who are on my team, I'm gonna give you a list of questions. If you were on Jewel coaching or actually Chris and I did a collaborative coaching last week and I gave a list of questions. I'm gonna talk about that again on our team call tomorrow night, and I'll give those questions. I know Cassie Howard has them. I know a few other people have them. If you have them quick and can post them in the chat, fabulous. If not, I'll send them to your leaders here in a minute because I have them all printed out. So, but I wanna encourage you guys to ask yourself questions, because you're not gonna be able to move forward in your business by just only and always just doing what your upline is telling you to do, because sometimes they may not tell you what to do. You have to have that sense of ownership over your business of like, I'm going to sit down. Okay, what am I going to do? Okay. And I think one of those girls from the Tips from the Top talked about planning the night before. Who was that? I don't remember. Anyways, plan the night before. It's so simple. Maybe Christina mentioned that. Okay. Simple, simple, simple. This is not hard stuff. This is the key. One of the keys is we're all busy, but we have the time. We can make the time. Okay. I've talked about this also with my tea time with Emily Gibson in Portugal. And my big thing is that I don't have time. I don't have enough time. You don't understand my life. It's busy. Like, I have so many irons in the fire. And she's like, you have time. You have time. That is a thought. That is not a fact. I'm like, okay. And I came home and Jessica Heffley did a coaching call with me and made me inventory my time for a couple of days. And you know what I realized is that I do have time. And actually, I'm spending my time in the best of ways with my top priorities in mind. But sometimes we get in this the thought model of, or whatever, we're thinking the thought of, I don't have enough time. And then that's causing us to feel stress, anxiety, and not be coming into our business with the right mindset and the right feelings. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to host this call was because I ranked to senior Ruby on my reentry leg. in May. I was planning to do it in April actually, and got close, but didn't quite hit it. And that was okay. I was enjoying Portugal and we did what we could. Also, I had like when I set my goal for Emerald by July 31st, I was definitely planning to rank to Senior Ruby by like March. Okay, so I've had to adjust my timeline a little bit. And the dynamics on that reentry leg team hasn't been exactly what I thought would happen, or at least not in the same timing I thought would happen, and that's okay, okay? But one thing that I'm doing is looking up at Emerald Mountain going, how do I do this? Okay, and so I think a lot of you are probably in the same space. If you are maybe newly ranked up, or maybe you kind of are in no man's land in between like senior silver and gold, or no man's land in between gold and senior gold, or you're in between a rank and you're just kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and you're not actually getting the needle to move forward with what you feel like is forward movement, even though there is growth. Okay, so whatever ears you're listening with, okay, apply it to whatever space that you're in, what season you're in your business. Okay, so I am feeling all the feels that I felt the first time around when I went Emerald, and I'm going, how do I do this? But I also know in my head, like, I know how to do this, okay? Wondering how is part of the process, right? Because that's how we get creative. This is the thing. I know that that ranking up doesn't have to be hard. And this third time around, I suppose, Justin ranked Emerald 5 or 6 years ago. So it's been a while since we've made that big jump, because basically from Senior Ruby to Emerald, you're doubling points, right? And I know from like Senior Gold to Ruby, you're doubling points. Okay, there's other ranks where you actually have to double points, and it feels like a big jump, but I know it doesn't have to be hard, and you do not have to sell your soul to do it. But there's specific activities that you have to be doing in order to move the needle forward in a tangible, trackable way that's moving forward, okay? And part of this business is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. A lot of you know my journey to gold on my reentry felt really embarrassing to me, because I, like, for 4 months ended at 95 points, okay? But when you're going gold, you're doing it basically by yourself, right? And sometimes there's some attrition because people don't stick on the products or whatever. So whatever feels you're feeling, or whatever season you're in, like, I'm noticing a lot of attrition, or hey, maybe you're on the top of the mountain and you recruited a lot of people and you developed a lot of people in May. May was a big month for a lot of people. So wherever you're at, we're going to work on a few things together. And my goal is sustainability, longevity, legacy business on that reentry leg. Okay, so I'm not looking for a quick buck. I'm not looking for a quick sale. And I feel, and let me know if you feel the same way, or maybe if you've noticed the same thing. Sometimes we go after the quick sales, okay, because they're the easy ones. They make us feel productive. They move the needle forward in a sense, right? Okay, so my revelation after sitting a little bit in some quiet space is, and I know this just because of the past 7 years, I'm learning this, right? I'm a little bit of a slower learner, but this is the key. Stay consistent and keep moving forward, right? So I cannot recruit myself to the next rank. Well, I mean, I guess technically maybe I could, but I don't want to. It's so much more sustainable, more peaceful, all of that, to duplicate, to raise the leadership of your current people on your team, okay? And this is assuming that you have at least one worker working with you, okay? Which requires you to vision cast and inspire them by what you're doing. It also requires us to recruit more leaders, okay? And we need to start asking ourselves, how will we recruit more? And I want to give you guys a few character qualities that identify or that describe the people that I'm wanting to recruit, because these are qualities that make jewels in Plexus, okay? This is not saying that people have to have a skill set of network marketing or sales or anything like that to be another runner on my team, but these are character things that I'm looking for. Resilience, strong vision, desire to help and serve other people, a desire to help others succeed, and strong work ethic. Okay, those are just a couple that I had written down. I would also add somewhat good at social media. I would add that in there. I know some of you guys have made dream team lists. That's like an off the cuff fast list, but If you have some other character qualities, pop them in the comments, right? Because you want to have in your mind who you're looking for. That's really, really key, okay? So I'm going to give you guys some tangible things to do that we're going to actually do together, because I haven't taken time to, yes, self-motivated, exactly. While I said that I'm not going to recruit myself to the next rank, that might mean, though, that I have to be the highest recruiter on that leg, okay? So it's not asking too much of yourself to recruit more than you've ever recruited before, okay? So if more than 3 or 6 scares you, you need to get okay and get good at the recruiting process, okay? Because I would say if you're wanting to rank up, you need to be willing to sponsor like 5, 10, 15 people. And maybe that sounds crazy, and maybe you've never even recruited 5 people before in 1 month. But I want to ask you, whatever number that you have, whatever your highest recruitment number is, I want you to double it. I remember Jessica Huffley saying, if you want to recruit this year, and this was, I think I was Emerald and stalled out at Emerald. She said, if you want to rank up, you need to add at least 10 people by the end of March. This was January. And I made a personal decision that I was going to recruit 10 a month instead of just 10 over those 3 months. Okay. So don't be afraid of recruitment. Okay. Now, however, what we're going to be focusing on today, and what I'm going to be focusing on with my team this month, is attracting and looking for and recruiting those high-level leaders onto our teams. Okay. Okay. Laura and Bill are 10 a month. Yes, they are. They are high recruiters. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, so good. Okay. So comments are coming in very, very good. Okay. So how are you going to recruit a high-level business builder? I know Jessica Huffley says she can easily identify when someone's like, I'm not getting business builders. She goes to their Facebook wall and she scrolls back like at least 2 weeks. And she's like, there is nothing on your Facebook wall that would make you want to join your team. Okay, if we want to be recruiting people like Jessica Huffley or Brooke Hemingway or those types of people, we need to be posting things that would attract those people. And I mean, don't go look at me as an example, because I'm not meeting my own expectations on that. But this month I want to change that by having at least 2 posts about the business per week. Maybe I should say 2 to 4 posts per week. And what I told my jewels was, if you want to take that 30-day challenge and any Plexus post you make it about the business. I know there was someone from Jordan's team, Chandler, I think, did that 1 month, and she recruited business builders. Hello, interesting, right? But does it scare us to do that? Are you guys scared to do that? Okay, maybe you're not posting any about the business right now. So doing 2 to 4 a week would be massively up-leveling where you're at currently. Okay, so my encouragement there is, we're not going to attract business builders unless we're posting about it. The other thing is, when I'm reaching out about the business to people, I like my newsfeed and my stories to also be backing that up and vision casting for the people that I'm reaching out to. So I know even if they haven't said yes yet, or they're looking at my stuff, that they're going to be more intrigued by things that I post and share about if I'm posting specifically about business, or the different facets of it, right? Because I think a lot of us default to, we post about the products mostly, or testimonials, and that's totally fine. But I'm just saying, if you want to shift in your business and you're like, I need business builders, then we're going to have to do something different than what we've been doing. Otherwise, we're going to keep getting the same results. Okay. So I currently, on my Senior Ruby leg, I have about 5 people working alongside with me. So I don't know, I can give you quick stats if you guys think that's interesting. So last month we had about 20 ads. 2 of those were personally from me. Okay, so I'm not the highest recruiter on that leg right now, or at least for that month. I have about 30 consistent 100 PV level 1s, about 5 partial level 1s, and I have recruited 73 level 1s on that reentry leg. Clearly, about half of them are currently ordering. Okay, so I have had quite a bit of attrition, but I have someone that's getting ready to go Ruby. She's on this call. Hey, Laura. Bill's getting ready to go senior gold. Chelsea is in between gold and senior gold. Kendra is working on senior silver and gold this month. And then I have another girl that's gold but has slid back in points a little bit. And then, you know, a few senior silvers and then a few silvers that are doing a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of the team demographics there. And most of those are level ones. Okay, so the first thing I want us to do, I'm going to mute for like 5 minutes, and I want to give you guys time to pray, and I want you to number your paper 1 through 10. Okay, and you're not probably going to fill the names in right. You're not going to fill in all the spots right now necessarily, but I want you to get quiet. You can you know, turn off your video if you don't want people to see you like thinking with your eyes closed or whatever. And I want you to think through, who are the people in your circle? Okay, think close circle, think a little bit wider, think maybe church acquaintances, people that you knew in college or whatever, people that you think would be really, really good at this business. Maybe some of them you have reached out to before. Maybe some of them are people that you're scared to reach out to. Maybe they're people you've never thought about reaching out to before. I want you to pray and ask God to give you 10 names. And we're gonna kickstart that little list making right now. I would encourage you to take a few minutes of that time and just listen and wait, and not necessarily like go scrolling on Facebook. Okay. Now, I think that there is value in looking through your Facebook friends list and just kind of like perusing and be like, who is there anybody that I've just forgotten about? You can also, another thing that I will often do is go look through who's looking at my stories on Instagram and Facebook, who is commenting on my posts, not even just Plexus posts, but who's following the stuff that I'm posting, and write their names down. Now, some people that you see potential in for the products, you could do them on a separate list. But if you see certain qualities in them that you think would make them really good at what you do with Plexus, let's put them down the list. So I'm going to give us a couple of minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 5, and I want you to, you can start the list. Don't feel like if you don't have 10 names like in the next 5 minutes that you failed the assignment, because that's not the goal. The idea is you're wanting to think through, pray through, ask, and be aware of who are those people that I want to be reaching out to. Okay, so here we go. On marks, get set, go, mute, 5 minutes. Here we go. Okay, so hopefully you guys have a few names written down. What we're gonna do next is something that Jessica Heffley taught me recently. I don't know why I've never thought about doing this before, but you're going to take each person that you wrote down and we're going to craft a little message. What I would personally do is, and this is what Jessica told me, she goes, or she asked me, she goes, do you always attach a VIP opportunity call when you message people about the business? I'm like, I don't think ever, which that's not true though, because she has put out little incentives or things to like send a video and message about the business, but it's not my MO. But she said, start doing that, because when people get a message from you, most often they will be, even if their answer is no, they will be curious enough to click on the video and watch it. And you never know what might click with somebody when they watch that video, or if their life circumstances change and they're like, actually, my husband lost his job, or we're taking a big pay cut, or I don't know. Even just the whole economy thing right now, where you have to be making like $6,000 more this year in order to be able to maintain that same level of, like your, whatever, what is that called? Your standard of living. Okay, $6,000 is a lot of money. But can you qualify that for people by how much money you're currently making with Plexus? Like, have you made $6,000 this year yet? Maybe not, maybe so. Okay, you guys we have an answer for people that are in that boat. And not everybody's looking for an extra income. Some people are looking for community. Some people are looking for friendship, or they love to travel. This is an opportunity in a multifaceted way that will attract and meet the needs of a lot of people for different reasons. Okay, I've decided, even though I didn't think I needed the Lexus or the Hawaii trip or whatever, it's pretty sweet. Once you start to experience those things or experience name brand stuff, you're like, no, I'm going back because this stuff is nice, right? So what I'm going to do is pop in the chat, because I joined with my iPhone. I'm going to pop in the chat some videos, and you're not going to send more than one. Just pick one to send to each of or at least 3 of the people that you sent. Okay, and so you're going to send the video, and then you're going to send a voice message. So mute and turn off your volume, and you can stop your video if you want, and you're going to voice message. I think voice messaging is better than typing stuff. That's just my personal opinion, because people will hear your voice, and if you haven't talked to them in 15 years or something crazy like that, maybe it's like you just literally haven't chatted with them, you probably want to give a little bit more than just you don't want to have like a copy paste thing. You want it to be, I'm not saying that a text message can't be heartfelt, but it's more, they'll glean more if you send a voice message. So let's take 5 minutes, and we're going to send out some of these, and I will pop these videos in the chat. Hopefully you guys have listened to some of them, so you know who would relate to which one the best. If not, I think those little VIP calls are great. Okay, here we go. Hey, okay. Hopefully you guys got at least one sent. If not, it's one of those things that you can just put on your little list to do before you go to bed tonight. Try to send at least 3 reach outs, okay? And so one thing that I'm going to be working on this month is doing like intentional business reach outs. I don't know about you guys, but it takes me more thinking space to figure out who I need to reach out to. And also it takes me a little more time to reach out specifically about the business because I want to do it. It's just a different, I don't know. It requires a little more thinking space for me. So um, I just want to encourage you guys to make it part of your IPA and not just to go after people that are going to say a quick yes, right, for the products. I'm not saying just not to do that or to discount those people, because how many of us were product users that became, working ambassadors, right? Um, so just a quick mention. Megan said that she recruited 21 people in March and she's struggling to get back to the recruitment period after that. I guess I should qualify the recruitment piece. If you already are adding 20 a month or you did 20 in a month, my encouragement there, if you're adding that many, you can develop a high or a percentage of those people to silver. So you already have a truckload of people that you've brought in. The duplication piece is what I would focus on, Megan, in a big way. I mean, I would still work on sponsoring, especially sponsoring people that you view as high level leader types, like be looking for those while developing those people that you brought in March, helping them have good product results, all of that. But I think sometimes we get so focused on helping the people that we helped a couple of months ago, that we're not bringing in new people, or because we did recruit a high amount, then we're just like we're taking a break. When we really need to be consistently bringing in 3 to 6 a month, right, give or take. And if you have a recruitment month, you may be willing, you may need to like double that. But for someone like you that's a really really high recruiter already, making that number be 40 this month, I don't know. That kind of stresses me out. I don't know if that stresses you out, but I would say if you're already a high level recruiter or high numbers recruiter, working on the development piece of those people would be an area that I would focus on big time. Because anytime that I've done, like, I've only done it like twice or 3 times maybe in my whole Plexus career of bringing that many people in within a month. Those are the times when people have joined me for the business. Maybe not those specific 20 people, but these so other people come out of the woodwork that are maybe currently on my team. So that brings me to my next list that I want you guys to make, is to make a list of the people. So you may need to print out your report from your back office, okay? Get your report of all the people of your level ones that have PV, okay? And then I also have a whole list of people that have 0 PV as well. And what I want you to do is go through with a highlighter, okay? And highlight people that you see potential in for the business, or you have worked with them a little bit, but you need to stoke the fire a little bit more. And what I mean by that is high level activity, high level IPA isn't just recruitment. I mean, that's a piece of it. And yes, we want to be recruiting high level people. And maybe you'll time block another half an hour or an hour to work on that later on today. But I would say if you have, I don't know, a gold or above team or senior silver, you have some people on your team and you haven't talked to them about the business, or you see potential in certain people, you know your people, and you know the potential that you see in them, you need to go tell them what you see in them. You need to maybe stoke the fire with somebody that went silver last month, but you want to help them go senior silver, and you want to find out if that's something that they want to work on with you, and you need to offer to get in the space with them and help them do that. Okay, so that's the next activity I want you to do. Even if you don't have your printed face or your printed team list organized by PV, I want you to at least, you can open up your back office really quick, or you can just jot down some people off the top of your head that you worked with last month to help them rank up, or you helped them but they didn't quite hit a rank. You're going to make a list of those people and find out who is the willing. My little thing that I always tell myself is work with the willing. From this big long list of people, I mean, some of the people are never going to message you, or not going to message you back for like 3 weeks or maybe 3 months, right? Those are probably not the people you're going to work with this month. You're going to be working with the ones that respond back to you and are willing to do a little bit of something. Okay, and it's our job to not only inspire, but to also help them take action. Okay, so I call it being the little sparkler. Okay, so you're going to come to them with a little idea. Okay, so maybe it's someone that just started their products last month and you're super excited and they're starting to see some of the results. You're going to be the sparkler to help them make a post. Okay, that's step one. Okay, maybe it's someone that went senior silver last month and you're like, okay, Jenny, I like congratulate them, right? And then say, I would love to help you go gold this month. Is that something that's on your radar? Okay, and if they respond back yes, then I would probably hop on a call with them. Just do a face-to-face call, help them like map out how many orders they need so they know how many people they need, how many orders, so that they can rank up, and also give them ideas of what to do. Because sometimes people get in the overwhelm, like, okay, I got it all mapped out. Now what do I do though? Okay, and we can't assume that they know the actions to take. Okay, if you don't know what to help them do, always go back to make a post, make a list, message, invite. Those 4 things over and over and over and over again, right? Make a post, that's easy, or at least simple enough to help them make a post. Make a list, okay? Make a top 20 list, just like what we've been doing, right? You can have them do it for product and for business. Make a list, make a post, make a list, message, okay? You can help them send messages, and invite. That means invite to an event. So offering to host a little event for them. Okay, maybe you hosted 1 or 2 online ones last month. Maybe if they live locally to you, you're going to do an in-person one, okay, and get it scheduled and make it happen before convention, right? So what I want you to do now is to make a list of the people on your team. We'll mute for 5, and we will go. Okay, so hopefully you guys are making your lists of people from your team. I'm going to actually turn this to gallery view because I'm looking at nobody right now except myself, and it feels weird. So, okay, here we go. Hey, okay, so I'm a mom. So I have a couple of college young adults who don't have kids and don't really have that need to feed my kids problem. Is there a particular one you feel would speak to them more, or do you feel like any of these would work just as well for them? I'm a mom. Yeah, I guess you have to consider your audience when you're messaging people. So I guess if someone has a opportunity, I would probably get one of Austin Ryan's. I think he and Sarah Thomas have an opportunity call that you could probably pull that would relate to more of that age demographic. The low-hanging fruit, this is why I also didn't host this call at the end of May when I actually had the idea of it, because I know sometimes at the end of the month, you're just literally like, I got to get the orders in, right? So sometimes that looks like old people reordering, maybe clearing out some old accounts and helping them restart with a new welcome pack. Sometimes that looks like, going back through your lists of getting people on the products, okay? So the low-hanging fruit, I think sometimes it's just part of the cyclical nature of our business each month. But here we are at the top of the month, and I'm going, I need more business builders on my team. I need 3 to 6 more in order to go emerald. I just know that for a fact. And many of you that are in between ranks right now, maybe you're sitting at gold and you got yourself there. Maybe you have 1 silver or 2 silvers. And maybe those silvers aren't interested in doing more. Okay, you can't just bank on your current team. You have to actually go out and do the scary, I say scary, but the high level IPA activities, which is getting, finding out who is looking for an opportunity. And it takes a lot of conversations. You might be ghosted a lot, like that's normal. And when I say ghosted, it just means that they're thinking about it still. And we want people to think of us when they are in a space where they need to be making an income from home, or they want more freedom from their current 9 to 5, or maybe they want to stay home with their babies because they had a baby and now they don't want to go to work, back to work in the same environment, that kind of thing. So give us an example of a message you would use for someone you want to recruit for the business. Okay, so I don't like giving scripts because I feel like they can be canned and whatever, but I also know that sometimes it helps my brain space to have an idea of what other people send, because I know how mom life is, and sometimes our brains are just crowded with a lot of information. We don't have our creative brain at that moment. So one of the things that I will often send people is, hey, I literally sent this to Chelsea, who is a gold, going senior gold on my entry leg. I literally said last summer, Chelsea, I think you would be great at what I do with Plexus. Would you be open to chatting about it? And she sent me back a list of reasons why she didn't think she would be good at it, but she was willing to chat with me. And look at, she double earned Leaders Retreat. I don't know if she's on this call right now, but anyways, sometimes like don't overthink the message. I mean, I didn't even know Chelsea all that well, but I knew that I liked her. I had met at a conservative women's luncheon a couple years ago. And so don't overthink the reach out. Hey, I think you'd be great at what I do. Now, you can't send that to someone that you've never had a conversation with. Okay, that's weird. So you have to use your own like intuition on how you know them, or maybe the way they pop up on social media. You're going to have to make it fit you. If you're on my team, go to the Momentum Makers group in the files, because I actually have a messaging handbook, and you can look in that. There's a whole page of business reach out examples. Some of them are mine, some of them are Brooke Hemingway's. We just create our own little document for that, and hopefully that'll give you ideas of different ways to ask the same question. Okay, does that help? I hope that helps. Yeah, people forget to reply. Okay, so if any of you want to share your messages, I mean, I think we all did voice messages, but if anyone wants to type out a little something of what you sent, just to give other people on here ideas, that might help. Okay, because it's always good to glean ideas from other people, but yeah, steer clear of the just blind copy paste, because people notice that, and look, we don't want that. Okay, good, thanks. We have a few more minutes, so I just want to remind you guys the reason why you want, and Fallon talked about this. Did you all listen to her call from Tips from the Top today? She totally talked about how sometimes we're really blessed with a really, really strong leg, but we can't bank on that. Like, that's a really, really unstable business if you just have one really, really strong leg and that's what you're kind of piggybacking off of. She said, go and develop more people. Go find more leaders. Go develop more leaders. And she said, the thing is, people will come in and out of momentum, and there'll be momentum on different teams at different times. And I've totally seen that in my business, and which is why you want more than one or two strong legs on your team, okay? So I will also ask you another question, which is, what attracted you to Plexus? Did someone reach out to you about the business? Did someone post that attracted you? Maybe for me, there was multiple people. It was all product related. But often I think we approach people, or we post thinking of how we were attracted to Plexus. And I would just want us to break out of that mold a little bit, especially if you came into Plexus for products, or because your health was a mess, like a lot of us, okay? So I want you to exit that assumption that people only want the products, right? And I want you to put on the hat of, I am a CEO of this business, and I am like, think of like a sports recruiter or an army recruiter, right? They're on the lookout for the type of person that they're looking for, and they are pursuing those people, or pursuing conversations or relationships with them, so that they can get them on their team, right? So I want you, all of us, including myself, to be thinking along those lines, because the way we show up in conversations, on social media, and our messaging, it's going to be different than if your sole focus is just to get people into the 3-day challenge, or people onto the product so that you can check off your 3 boxes or something for the month. Okay, so maybe it feels more like not as efficient, but I want to just say it's important to not neglect this piece of your business, because it's going to propel you forward. Think of how many wholesale people you have to add in order to basically equal one strong leader on your team. Okay, think about leaders on your team. Those of you who are have higher ranks on this call. Okay, you have a Ruby on your team. They have 100 people at least ordering 100 PV worth of product. That you did something to help them, right? But you didn't go recruit all those 100 people. Okay, think about that. You sign up one high-level leader that's going to bring 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 people on your team. Okay, so the hardest, most scary thing that you have to do, in my opinion, to sign one of those high-level business builders is the ask, because I think all of us are looking for self-motivated, self-starter type people. And once you get them off to the races going a little bit, you're not going to have to handhold them like some of your new silvers or some of your new senior silvers, okay? Because they're going to be self-motivated. They're going to go after their own goals. Not to say that it's always going to be like a straight trajectory up to the top. Sometimes it is, but also we have to be willing to do the scary ask. So, question: what is one thing or two things or three things that you have been avoiding? Is there something that comes to mind? Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a follow-up, maybe it's a post that you've had an idea of. Right, whatever's coming to mind, write that down. For me personally, it's posting about my house, because I was waiting until it got pretty out because I have a picture of my dream board house, which if you guys know what my house looks like, it's similar to that. But I want to stand out like at the end of my driveway and take a picture of this and my house, my current house in the background, because that's a Plexus post. That's a Plexus business post right there. So I've been kind of not avoiding, but it's just been, I haven't gotten it done. So I'm going to go do that, right? Another thing is I haven't listened to the voice message back from this high-level dream teamer person that I've followed up with. And it's been a couple weeks. So I'm confessing this to you guys that I'm still working on things myself, still having to address areas of avoidance for myself. And then for me personally, it's just carving out the time to actually act on these high-level business activities, okay? So y'all write something down. Okay, we have a couple more minutes. So what I want you to do is finish, well, or at least start the list of people currently on your team that you see potential in, okay? Let's mute for a couple minutes and then I'll pop back on. Okay, we have like 1 minute, so I'm just gonna pop on really quick. Hopefully I gave you little tiny to-dos that you can go finish in your own time later on today or throughout this week. This is the thing, guys. You can be imperfectly consistent and still move forward in your business, okay? That's been the journey of my Plexus life for the past 7 years. Probably why I didn't go as fast as maybe other people did, but because I have stayed consistent and stayed the course. There's people out there that that are open to the opportunity and open to the products, and we have things that can help people. I'm going to actually make a list of these high-level IPA activities that you guys, if you want to be working on these all month long with me, I will make a list of them, because it's not necessarily something that you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to do this every single day for the entire month, but you may be picking certain things out to do daily, and then some things to do weekly, and then some things when you have like a 3-hour chunk where you're not with the kids, or they're doing something with dad or an aunt or grandma that's fun, and you just have some thinking space and things like that to do some of these other things. Recruiting high-level business builders obviously is the goal. Posting about the business, which I'll just put in there. Do it today. Make a post today, and post about something tangible that Plexus has paid for. I think that's what's impactful to people, is not to hear like, oh, I'm making a 6-figure income. A lot of times that's not relatable to people, but if Plexus covered your mortgage, your groceries, and whatever, your electric bill for the month, like that'll preach, you know? Or you had someone on your team that made $1,500 last month because they, whatever, ranked up to seniors. I don't even know what the numbers would be, but because they're a fast starter, share that, okay? Following up with potential business builders, okay, that's equally as important as reaching out to new. Making a new list, right, we talked about that, but from your stories, your posts, new contacts. This should go at the top, which I'll vet this list. I was just jotting things down real quick. Praying about who, and I loved Carissa's wording. I just saved that and I'll post it on with the recording also, so you guys have that. Because when you pray first, then you can actually reference like, hey, I was praying today. I don't know why you came up, but I just want to reach out to you because you are on my heart. Like, isn't that an organic way to reach out? Not weird or creepy, but like, they will feel honored that you were thinking about them and the Lord brought them to mind for some reason. Maybe it's something completely unrelated to Plexus, who knows? Or maybe it's because they know someone that totally needs Plexus, or maybe they do, who knows, right? And then, okay, I didn't talk about this yet, but you guys need to do a live about the business. And I would say, consider doing a live every week. Maybe you do some sort of series, and maybe you'll kick off, you know, whatever, talk about it Tuesday, or lunch and learn. Every Tuesday, maybe you'll start with your own little testimony. You're going to kind of shoot you straight. I know Jessica did one of those a couple years ago, and I totally duplicated the idea. And I had a girl that was my very first customer who left the country for a couple years to be a missionary, and then came back, and she hopped on that live, and she's now a senior Ruby on my team, on our team, I should say. She's under Justin. But isn't that interesting that she was listening? And then another time I did a business, I should do these more often, right? Why don't I do them more often? My midwife joined. She has a couple people in her. She's not like full-fledged yet, but you never know who is going to be listening and kind of curious. Okay, so assume that people are curious and they're open and they want to hear your perspective. Okay, so do a live about the business. So maybe you do the first week, I don't know, lunchtime on a Tuesday, right? And then the next couple of weeks, interview someone. Those are so fun. Have you ever had someone like invited live onto Facebook Live and just had them share their story? Super, super fun. So that's something that we're doing next week. If you're on one team, is different leaders on our team are going to do a lunch and learn time. We're going to interview each other about the business specifically. That way it pops up on our Facebook wall, and then you can also do a live watch video or whatever, share it to your wall, and it appears, and it's a testimony thing, right? A business testimony. But I would encourage you guys to do your own, because people are curious about what you do and why. And then you can also vision cast in that call, like, this is my goal, and this is why I keep doing this, and this is why it's fun. And this is, I know Roberta said, how did she say that? Why I joined and why I stayed, or something like that. I was like, oh, that's a fun little title, right? So, okay, I think that wraps it up. I will type up a little list. That way, hopefully it kind of throws a loop around it all, but just want to encourage you guys to hold hope as your banner, okay? When we're hopeful people, we will naturally attract people to us. I think we're our most creative selves when we're thinking hopeful thoughts and knowing that we are here for a specific reason and a purpose. God has given us this stewardship for a reason, and we want to steward it well. And we want other people to enjoy not just the health benefits, but also the financial benefits that a lot of us are experiencing. And also those of you that have just joined that are really excited about the opportunity, that want to move forward. So, so fun. I hope this was helpful. Maybe I need to do another one, to kind of practice, what we just talked about today. But I hope this was good training and also helpful income producing high-level activities for all of you to take the little pieces and go do them and work consistently throughout the month. This is going to be a big month. Don't forget, convention is coming up, and you need to be posting lots of amazing things. You can do live videos there. They don't have to be long, but like why we love Plexus, right? Because people are going to be watching you. People watch when you travel. So just keep that in mind. All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye.